Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is, I believe it's Wednesday, January the 3rd. Yes, this will be our chart lesson for the day, and is all uphill today, a nice uptrend. Um, this first trend, you can see how we're getting away from the EMA and been away, and if it keeps following that trend, it's just going to get further away from the EMA. So it's a little bit too steep. So on a day like this, you would figure that it would fall over to a more 45-degree angle, which is a healthy trend angle. You'll hear me say that a lot, and you can see that that's about what we fell over to, about 45 degrees, and it was a great trend the rest of the day. There was an FOMC announcement today. Somebody asked me why it was pretty much, um, there wasn't really much volatility. It's pretty lame, but I think the reason was today's FOMC was really just the release of the previous meeting's notes. I believe it was not an actual um, meeting where they are discussing rates or possibly changing rates, and so I'm sure that's why there wasn't much to it. You still want to be aware of it because if they were to say something, if something was to come out unexpected in those meeting notes, you could still get some volatility. Didn't happen. I mean, right after January, we just had that rate increase in December. So this is about what you would expect. Not much happening. You still want to be aware of it. I circled it and didn't mark any trades, but you could tell pretty quick it was over with. And but I didn't mark anything after that. There wasn't much left for the day. So there's a possible long right here on this little trap. It looks like it's going to be a failed second entry long, and they just trapped the shorts. And you don't want to be shorting on a day like this. There's just no shorts in there at all, as you see. It's all uphill. So we just came off the low. We did come off the midline here, so you could have been coming back to the trend line, but this is a strong trend. When you see all these little bars and little dojis, and they just keep going up and up, even after it went into the tighter trend. Notice how you just get these little bars, and they just keep going higher and higher. You don't want to short a day like that. All you want to do is look for a chance to get long. So you look for failed second entries, bounces off the trend line, second entry longs off the trend line, EMA, things like that. So really nice day, fairly simple day for the most part. Um, these are the kind of days we like to get, and you try to catch. And if you catch a runner, which you could on a couple of these, just ride that runner until as long as you can, basically. So, but let's talk about the trades. I'm gonna back out a little bit here. Notice that when I came in, prices were working down here, and we were just kind of really going sideways. But notice what happens. It's been all uphill. There's a shorter term trend line in here too. It looks like a little spike in channel, which is a little spike in channel. But we were backing off, and you get notice that new low, and you got a first entry, and then that's the second entry. But really what you're looking for here is this second entry long. Notice that new high, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. That's the second entry long. Um, you could have treated this one as a failed second entry short, but that's a little bit, you can see that's a little bit before 7. So that was setting up really when I was kind of coming in and opening up my computer. And so it's a little bit early, but if you were trading, you might enter there as well. But you definitely want to take that second entry. I drew this trend line right off those couple of highs and drug it down, and we bounced right off of it on that second entry. I like that one. Then it gives you the failed second entry short because that swing low is lower than that one. So you got a new count, first entry, second entry. So when it broke higher there, I liked adding on. You really could have considered entering on either one of these. I didn't like this one because it's right into the double top. But when we pushed higher and pulled back, that's a little breakout pullback long. And by that time, you've confirmed that trend line a couple more times. There's just not a lot of room there. It's the high of the day. It's a little bit risky, but I'll be honest with you. I'll probably take that trade every time. Uh, at the very least, you're hoping to get a measured move here, and that would be from right here. And you see where it went to a perfect measured move, and it tried to back up, and it just kept going off that trend line. So that's a good sign. And the fact that you got all these little bars, lots of doji looking things in there, and it just keeps going up and up, and your corrections are very shallow, that's a good sign. That means you got a strong trend. So I like that one. It's aggressive, so I made it green. Then we pull back. By this time, when it bounces off that trend line again, um, it's pretty obvious that we're going higher. So I'm going to take that bounce right off the trend line, and it's like a little two-legged correction as well. There's a leg back there, move up, another little leg back. But that bounce off the trend line, nice bearish bar. I'm going to take that, especially now that it looks like a long, a strong trend here. And then we come back, pull back first entry, pull back another second entry right off the trend line. Take that. Another easy move. And you would have had a runner off a couple of these. You would have had an easy runner. And we finally get a little break up here. Get a first entry long, pull back. That's a second entry long again, and it does confirm that flatter trend. So I like entering there. I think it's a little risky to enter on this first one. You got a little short-term trend line working down there. But that's your first close outside, really. And you might get a try for a low, so you need to at least wait on the second entry, which comes right here. Technically, there's a second entry here, but it didn't correct really till here. So that's on this chart, that's your true second entry right there. And then you get the failed second entry short, and it bounces right off that trend line again. Definitely take that one. And you might want to try to catch a runner on any of these. And this turns out to be another great move. And once you got your high up here, it was kind of hard to tell where the midline and the high was. I believe this to be correct. You can tell we kind of turned down off of it there, and we turned down off of it again here. But it's a little bit difficult to tell, to be honest. But there really wasn't another good entry. There's a second entry long here, pull back first entry, pull back second, but we weren't quite back to the trend line. And that's going right into that 1 o'clock hour, so you may want to skip this trade. But there was a second entry long right there, right off the trend line. So if you wanted to take that, it's right into 1 o'clock hour, so I'm not crazy about it. But, you can see there wasn't much to this. And then it pulls back, first entry, pull back. There's a second entry there, which you would have got trapped. But coming off that EMA, I would rather wait on a trap to the low side, and that turns out to be here. So you might have went long there. We weren't back to the trend line, but we weren't to the upper side yet, and we could be going there. So here's your first leg up. Actually, and then your second leg. So you'd be looking for a measured move. So there's plenty of room there. So you might take that trade right there. I'll mark it green. But with all these other easy, much higher probability trades, I'm not risking one to which an hour, on something like that, to be honest with you. But there's reasons to take it. It is a failed second entry short and a big uptrend day, and we did just come off the low side. So if we get another leg up, we may make it back up to the high side. We didn't end up making it back up there again, but I could have this off a little bit. This may be where the high was, and this may be a little bit lower. You can see it still fits there. That gives you, actually that does make more sense, and this turns out to be a little bit of an overshoot. If you just put it off the closes there, still fits pretty nicely there. And I may have the angle off just a hair. Fits, this midline looks a lot better right there. But then that's going to be your measured move right in there. So you really didn't need that. You had everything you needed going on here, and plus you would have had this little trend line up, and that's the first close outside, so you would expect it to test that high and probably try to test the upper side of the channel wherever that's at. And it really, to be honest with you, I was playing this off up here, and this is the midline. And they both look, one looks just as good as the other, to be honest with you, so it's kind of hard to say. But anyway, that's what I saw today. A nice day compared to yesterday, to be honest. Yesterday was a little bit weak, but it was all uphill today. And like I said, this is a strong trend. Study this, what it looks like. Uh, when you start to see these real shallow corrections and lots of bars just stacking up, and everything, every time it reverses, it just goes higher again. But all your corrections are very shallow, maybe a tick or two. Um, Notice how every correction only goes a tick or two um, until you finally get a break here. But that's because it was getting too steep. And look how long you've been away from the EMA and how far you're getting away. You still don't want to short this, though. Don't risk it because this is a strong trend. So don't risk going short there. And one other comment I wanted to make. Somebody made a comment about, I think I marked it over here, about this trade yesterday. They said that there's wasn't enough room on this one, but there is on my chart. Not sure about your chart. Maybe there wasn't, but your entry would have been one tick. Let me change that back. Your entry would have been one tick below that bar. So one tick below that bar opened at or traded down to 26.90. So one tick below that is 26.89.75, and you need 5 ticks from there, which would get you to 26.88.50. And so there's just enough, and that's why I say you can't enter late, you can't enter early. There's a reason we go for 4 ticks, because this trade got exactly 4 ticks, which is, or 5 ticks really, from where you need 6 ticks from your entry to your exit, and there was exactly 6 ticks there. So you need 1 tick for to fill your sell stop here, and then you have to get 5 ticks because it generally has to tick through your limit buy order down here. So there was just enough room there. Maybe your chart was a little different, I don't know, but somebody had made a comment that there wasn't enough room there. So I just want to make sure that you understood you enter 1 tick below the signal bar right there. And you can't enter late, you can't enter early. You don't want to enter before it breaks below that bar, and once it breaks below it, you can't enter even 1 tick. If you'd entered 1 tick late, like a 1 tick lower, you would have been a 4 tick failure. So just clarifying that for that trader that made that comment. Again, maybe it was different on your chart, but on this chart, on my chart, there was just enough room to get out. So anyway, that does it for today. I hope you had a good trading day. Hopefully we'll get some more days like this, and this thing will continue to go upward. We'll have to see. But the one thing we want when we're day trading is movement. We don't care whether it goes up. We don't care where it goes down. We just want it to trend consistently in one direction for the easiest kind of days. And this is a good example of why I'm always saying don't try to pick tops, because every time you try to pick a top here, it just kept going higher and higher, and you can't win that way. When you get a trend like this, just wait for an opportunity to buy. The setups have come in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and really 7 entries here that were fairly simple. And if it hadn't been FOMC day, there's another second entry long right there, right off the trend line. That would have been another great entry. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow and wrap up our first week back with a new year. Time just keeps flying by. I can't believe we're already almost through with the first week, although it was a shortened week with no trading on Monday, with New Year's Day being on Monday. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again tomorrow. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.